Hey, I'm Harry Mays, and we say goodbye to Stoutland University. And I'll tell you what, 13 years with the organization, you owe the game of football or the Philadelphia fans nothing, man. Enjoy whatever life holds in the future.
I'm Jason Martinez, Stout out, and by proxy, I blame Kevin Patullo.
I'm Louie DiBiase. I don't think Jeff Stoutland leaving in 2026 is as big a deal as people are making it.
Yep, I'm Marc Farzetta, and the Eagles finally ridded themselves of that locker room poison, Jeff Stoutland. That's sarcasm. And this is Locked On Eagles Squad Show.
Fly, Eagles, fly. It's the Eagles Squad. Everything Philadelphia Eagles every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the city of brotherly love. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Eagles Squad Show starting now.
And welcome to the Locked On Eagles Squad Show. This particular episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Super Bowl predictions, even though I have to remind myself the Super Bowl is actually on Sunday.
Me too.
There is some recruitment of A.J. Brown to the Ravens, apparently. We'll get into that. Cooper DeJean talks about the locker room. Lane Johnson's future and how it's affected by the dean of Stoutland University, the man himself, Jeff Stoutland, calling it a career in Philadelphia after 13 seasons and 27 Pro Bowlers. Chip Kelly's lone good idea, maybe aside from sports science, he is no longer with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Louie, I'm going to ask you this because you're the first person that I've heard, and there's some breaking news on this too we're going to get to in a second, but you're the first person I've heard that might have a positive spin, a true positive spin, not one of snark and sarcasm. What are you working with over there, Louie?
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with Jeff Stoutland, the coach. I think he's the greatest offensive line coach of all time, and just look at what he did with Jordan Mailata as the perfect example of that. I don't think your offensive line is getting better with him out of the building, right? So I just want to preface things by saying that first. But we've all said all offseason, we want change schematically on offense. We need this thing to completely flip on its head to not have the same thing happen that happened in 2025. And for me, a part of that change is also going to come with the run game from a schematic standpoint. And I don't think Jeff Stoutland was going to want to come in and embrace just everything being brand new, this all new under center offense that I think they're planning on running with Sean Mannion being the new OC. I just find it, I get, again, people didn't want Stoutland gone, but everybody this offseason and during the season wanted more under center. They wanted the scheme to change, and now that you're kind of getting that change, not in the way you want, everybody's up in arms. So again, in a vacuum, losing Stoutland sucks, but I think what we're moving towards in 2026 is actually, this is another positive sign that they really are going for being different, and I think that had to happen.
But doesn't an offensive line prefer the quarterback under center?
Yeah, but I mean, Jeff Stoutland last year, even, it sounded like during the season when there was some sort of beef or misunderstanding between him and Sirianni Patullo, a lot of the disagreement, I think, was about Sirianni and Patullo changing things up, going more under center, and I think switching up what Jeff Stoutland normally likes to do with his rushing attack. And it didn't sound like he was fully on board with that. And that has to change this year, especially if Jalen Hurts isn't going to run the football that much.
Yeah, I took it more that he wasn't included in that process, so he felt.
But why wasn't he included? I don't think he was going to go for it.
Well,
yeah, I think he wanted them under center, and they didn't want to go under center.
I mean, the second half of the year, though, they went more under center than they did the first half of the year.
Marginally.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles, all of last year, were 27th in the NFL in plays under center. The Green Bay Packers, where, of course, Sean Mannion's coming from, 13th in the NFL. So a last-tier team to a middle-of-the-road team in terms of being under center. But here's my big gripe with Stoutland, and it really with the Eagles. How the hell do you treat Jeff Stoutland like that? Where this is a guy that has done nothing but produce at an extremely high level. This is a guy that was here with Chip Kelly, kept because he did such a wonderful job for Doug Peterson, and then stuck around here for Nick Sirianni. And in the process, you win 2 Super Bowls, and you've been to 3 of them. And you've been churning out Pro Bowlers left and right on the offensive line. And up until this last season, unfortunately, with a banged-up Cam Jurgens, who still made a Pro Bowl, you had a seamless transition of power from center to center. That is not an easy thing to do. So even if you were considering stripping him of responsibilities in the run game, which apparently they did, and they just didn't tell him, why aren't you saying, all right, you're just going to go back to coaching the offensive line. We're going to take over the run game in a different direction. And how do you do that when you have a offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo, who had no idea what the hell he was doing, and you don't even consult the guy that's been around and been successful? That to me is a flat out slap in the face disrespect. And I absolutely love that Jeff Stoutland said, you know what? If that's how we're going to do this, thanks, but no thanks, I'm out. And on top of it, this is a guy who became a legend in the city of Philadelphia. This is a guy who is a deity in the city of Philadelphia. And they said, you know what? Do less. We need less from you, even though you're the guy that's really the adult in the room, the elder statesman, and has had success with 3 different coaches. Do less. We're not even going to have a conversation about it. And also, this is a guy that never was pining to be a coordinator, never pining to be a head coach. He did what he did to damn near perfection, and the team still screwed him over the way they did last year for Kevin Patullo. And now, moving on from him, is not only the run game coordinator, but their offensive line coach. It's absolutely ridiculous what the Eagles did.
Yeah, the optics of it are really bad. Obviously, I really don't know what went down. I don't know, who left who, or whose idea it was for him to step down. It appears like he's going to step away from football, at least for one season, apparently, from what I read. And who knows? Maybe the guy just got fed up, with the politics or the way things were going down with all the change. And they'd had a bad year on the offensive line. The run game went nowhere with Saquon Barkley after that great year. And maybe he just realized, I've been here a long time, and I'm in my early 60s. I can still go enjoy my life. And maybe I just don't need to be coaching for a little while, and we'll see what happens. Maybe he just wants to go do Jeff Stoutland things. But I mean that because we as people who cover the sport or pay attention to the sport, as much as we do, and the fans who have so much invested in it, want guys like this to stay around forever. It's like you should coach until you basically die on the sideline, and it's like, oh, what do you mean he wants to quit? Damn it, he's good. Like, we're losing a good coach. Yeah. Sometimes guys maybe just want to go enjoy their life while they still have another 10, 20 years in them. And God bless them.
I hate it. I think, Mark, I think you nailed it. To me, I think he still wants to coach because I think coach is coach and he loves what he does. But this is, again, my perception. I think he's just sick of the bull. You know what?
I agree.
I think there's some dysfunction down there. There's too much BS going on, and I think he's just like, you know what? Let me check and see if the grass is greener. You know what I mean? Because I'm tired of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At this point, to be disrespected like that, to me, is unconscionable. Keep the guy in the loop. Communicate with him. Not communicating with somebody is the ultimate disrespect when he has earned his respect. And I put the tweet on the screen before from the guy that the Eagles had 13 Pro Bowlers in his 13 years. They had more Pro Bowlers in prior 50 seasons. At perhaps the most important element of the sport, not position, but element, protecting the quarterback. And he wasn't good at it. He was great at it. Why do we know that? Because we talk to guys. You work with guys like Trey Thomas, who preach at the altar of Jeff Stoutland. They didn't like Stoutland. They loved Stoutland. And he's finally he gets to the point of breaking point of, I'm done with this crap. I'm going to move on. And he was probably the most famous and best coordinator in the NFL of the last 25 years. And he was an offensive he wasn't even an OC or a defensive coordinator, for goodness sake. He's an offensive line coach. Yeah. To get the accolades, the pay, and everything else that he got with that job tells you how good he is. And they dysfunctioned their way right through this with the hiring of Kevin Patullo, the hard-headedness and cluelessness of the head coach when it comes to offensive play calling, and they found a way to screw up the one foundational piece that they probably couldn't afford to lose. When Jordan Mailata got here, I remember, I think it was Jason Kelsey telling the story. He didn't know how to put on the equipment.
Right.
He didn't have to strap the shoulder pads on or put the padding in the legs. He had never played football. And this guy took that lump of clay, freak athlete in size, and molded him into one of the best left tackles in the league. And to succeed, a guy like Jason Peters. So I'm pissed off about it because I think that they screwed this up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a price. You aren't going to replace him. You'll replace him in title, but you will not replace what he gave.
Uh-oh. That
the
sounds like what
optics-
Brian Billick told me a long, long time ago when Andy Reid was escorted out of town. You might find another coach, but you won't find a better coach.
But I don't think they wanted him gone.
True, Har.
They wanted him to be the offensive line coach still. They wanted to switch things up in the run game, which I think had to happen. And the optics of them not talking to him about it, if that is the story, they completely ignored him and did not tell him we were changing things up. That obviously is disrespectful, and that would be a very bad look for a quote-unquote culture CEO guy. But we've all been on this show before saying Sirianni doesn't do enough. What is he doing? What is his role? And then we finally have an example of proof that he was trying to switch things up last year when in the first 9 games they average under 3 yards a carry 4 times with all of these stars that Jeff Stoutland developed. And then he tries to switch it up, and now we're killing Sirianni for that. So, again, the optics of the communication style was probably bad. But I think we all agree that the scheme needed to change. The run game needed to change. And I don't know why now, everybody's up in arms about it. Again, it's because we all love Stoutland, and it's the way it was handled probably. But when you actually think about the change specifically the context of that, I think that had to happen. I don't know.
Well, I think it's because you trusted Jeff Stoutland. You don't trust Nick Sirianni. You don't trust Kevin Petullo, sure as hell.
Yeah,
and
we don't know about Mannion yet.
Right, right. But the optics of this also, a couple specific things I want to make sure we nail down is one, the report from Tim McManus on ESPN was that they changed the scheme without even consulting Jeff Stoutland. And
that's a problem for sure.
Yes, and according to Jeff Stoutland, or according to the same source, not only was he not included in that, they went about and just changed it. So all of a sudden, you're the guy you think you're in charge of something, and all of a sudden you're given a new playbook, and you're like, well, I didn't. Wait a minute. So who was doing my job in there? To not even include the guy with the experience is malpractice, and add it to the list of malpractice from this coaching staff this past year. The other part of it is apparently they did offer him another job, and he said no. That leads me to believe this was all his idea. Maybe yes, because he was either just wanted to take the break, maybe he was fed up with the BS, Jason, like you said, or maybe it was just the bad taste in his mouth for not even being consulted when they were changing the run. And he was the guy that helped you set records last year, 2 years ago now, with what you were able to do in the run game. So if the idea was let's listen to Jeff Stoutland less, that's a dumb idea. That is a dumb idea. And apparently that's exactly what the Eagles did last year in favor of Kevin Petullo, by the way.
Here's the thing. And again, Petullo comes back in like he's haunting us at this point, like a ghost that comes out at night. Here's the problem is that we hear about Nick Sirianni and the thing he does so great, he communicates. And he's got everybody's back. And that's why they all
coaches the coaches.
He coaches the coaches, does all that. And we're going to see more, obviously, a lot more reporting and leaks about this. And this could be an undoing for him because those guys on that offensive line, my guess is you disrespected the guy that we like the most, and that's unforgivable. And now we lost him, right?
Yeah.
Players love coaches that can ultimately maximize their career and make them more money. That's what they love. That's why some coaches or some players like a coach, and that's why they don't like him because they feel like the guy doesn't maximize. This guy doesn't put me in a situation to be successful. A.J. Brown. Or these offensive linemen, they're going, this guy's found a way to get me to a level I never thought I could get to, hence get paid at that level. And this could be the first straw to fall in people going, man, Nick really effed this one up from a communication standpoint. And now it cost all of us. And
that
line's going to be under even more scrutiny next year now.
The two greatest gifts that Chip Kelly ever gave were Stoutland and Lane Johnson, all in the same year. They came in together, and who knows? Maybe they go out together. You could get a retirement from Lane Johnson.
That's the most negative part of this.
Couple of weeks too.
Yeah, Lane retire again. Yes, losing Stoutland for the offensive line is brutal. But I do personally believe that this run game needed a new design. The McManus story, by the way, suggested too that they're implementing McVay, Shanahan kind of concept, so they would have had somebody over him designing run games each and every week, which was part of this thought process as well. I think that was necessary, but the negative part is that, you could lose Lane Johnson now. He has never had a different offensive line coach,
right.
And if you are going to completely switch things up and even change the way you play on the offensive line, maybe they don't use the zone kind of scheme anymore. Lane might hang it up. I think that's the biggest domino that could fall in a negative way.
And that's your first round pick then in the draft, and a right tackle.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
those mock drafts are going to include a lot of linemen the next few weeks.
We did talk about moving on from Jeff Stoutland. Apparently, and this is according, I'm seeing this, Jeff McClain, Inquirer.com, Ryan Mahaffey,
probably.
Mahaffey.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
He's taking over.
He's Irish. I forgive you, Farzad.
Thank you. I don't speak Gaelic. What language is this? I don't know. He's apparently taking over as the run game coordinator for Jeff Stoutland and also the tight ends coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. And as Jeff McClain points out, that signals the end of Jason Michaels, who was the not the center fielder, not the outfielder for the Phillies from years ago, but the tight ends coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. So Ryan Mahaffey is taking over. And Louie, he's from the Packers, wide receivers coach with the Packers, assistant offensive line coach as well with the Packers for 2 years, 2022 and 2023. And the last 2 seasons, he has served as the wide receivers coach. And now the run game coordinator going from the catchers
running
to
this
the runners.
team? Mannion? You're getting another Packers coach in here? This isn't a Sirianni guy.
It's a risk, but they're going all in on it, it feels like. I'm on board.
Pretty astounding.
They needed to do this. And if it doesn't work, fine. Then you fire Nick Sirianni and you try to find a new head coach that calls plays. But this, to me, had to happen. And unfortunately, Stoutland is collateral damage in that process, and that in a vacuum sucks. But I do like that they're bringing in a lot of guys from that kind of offense, because I've been harping on it on this show and the Daily Show every single day that they have to try something different and fully commit to it. And when you look at him being the tight ends coach too, I like that the tight end coach is the run game coordinator, because last year, what was one of the biggest problems running the football? The tight ends couldn't block. Yeah. When they were using 12 and 13 personnel, they were averaging like 3.1 yards a carry. It was abysmal. So that's a huge part of it.
Johnson was on the field, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's it. When they brought an extra lineman in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Grant Calcaterra was terrible blocking. Dallas Goedert significantly regressed in that way. Yeah.
Well, here's my issue. All right. Now, I'll be the first to argue that experience doesn't mean everything. How good you are means it. Now, a lot of times experience plays into how good you become. But the times the Eagles have gone with inexperience, that's when they're the one and done playoff team. And now they're saying, all right, so you know that thing about having experience? Let's forget about that. Let's go with even less experience and see how we ride with that one.
Well, it was inexperience from in-house, though, too.
That's a good point.
Absolutely.
In-house. Every time they go out of house, they make the Super Bowl.
Right.
But that was also a guy that had been calling plays for about, 6 years before he came to the
Eagles?
Yeah,
we've never seen this. An outside hire that's brand new at this. This is new territory.
Right.
Well, I need to know, though, whose cheese is on the line here? Like, who made these decisions? Is this
Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie?
Well, here's the thing.
I don't think it was Nick Sirianni.
Everybody always assumes it's just the head coach that decides on who plays and how much and this and that. A head coach, general manager, they don't talk a couple times a week. They talk multiple times a day, often up to 6-10 times a day.
Especially this organization.
In every sport they do. The GM is so – this isn't, our team, club team growing up where the coach has a day job and the guy running the program, it's not that. This is their only thing. They pour so much detail into everything that who's the one that made the decision? Were they both in agreement? Who was the one that was okay not communicating this to Jeff Stoutland? Because I failed to believe that it was, we're going to do this I would think that somebody said, who's going to notify Stout? How are we going to notify Stout? Or was it decided that we don't need to notify Stout? Like, how does the run game coordinator, slip through the cracks? Is it just, we forgot? Like, I don't buy that. Something doesn't smell right here. This is why I'll be looking out for Tim McManus's Twitter. The pain in the asses, as I like to call them. Yeah. Beats. The ones that
McLean, McManus. Yeah.
The ones that aren't served up butterflies and blossoms to be first, but actually do investigative journalism. Those are the guys I want to hear from when it comes to something like this, because something doesn't wash. And like, you can hear me. I'm kind of pissed off about it. Not that I don't agree with Louie, because I think Louie's right. Yeah, they had to go all in on change, but not at the cost of dysfunction. And I'm fine if you want to move on from Stoutland.
Right. It's not black and white. You're 100% right. The way they did it is awful. If that is what happened, like if they literally did not tell him he wasn't the run game coordinator anymore, and he just comes in the next morning at the NovaCare and the playbook's different, like that's a problem. My take was definitely not about that. It was more about the context of the actual change itself. But yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, look, I also find it hard to believe. When I broke the Carson Wentz story, part of the story that I broke was that they knew he had the fracture and they didn't tell him.
Yeah. So it's believable, I guess, that they didn't.
I do love a good quit story, and I do think this is a really good quit story that we're only getting the tip of the iceberg of right now with Stoutland. Because I absolutely believe that this is wait a minute, you're taking that away from me, and you took it away from me. You didn't even tell me you were taking it away, and now you're going to offer me a lesser role. Like if they would have handled it differently and said, "Hey, look, we still really want you to be the offensive line coach. Here's a financial apology. Sorry about all that." Then maybe this is different. But the fact that he took to social media himself and ended it with Stout out,
that's pretty cool.
Oh,
he was first.
Chef's kiss, babe. That was
below the water of this iceberg.
That's a mic drop.
Enormous.
That is a mic drop.
That's a
you
mic
love
drop.
a great quit story.
There's
some great quit stories.
I love quitting.
This does feel like 20.
Not drinking, but everything else.
I'm getting 2020 vibes again from this. This happened with Doug's last year, where Howie and Louie kind of made him bring in all these different cooks from the kitchen of different systems, and Doug was a good soldier until he wasn't. And if this doesn't work this year, you could see a ton of change, just like last time. This is like the last hurrah of this.
And Harry didn't quit drinking. He just paused drinking.
Well, I paused for the last 4 days,
took a break.
too. Yeah.
Wow. Into February, is that right, Harry?
Nobody likes a quitter.
Wow. Let's give me the breaking news sounder, Tony.
I can go back whenever I want.
Whenever you choose, Harry.
Yep.
I will. One last thing on Jeff Stoutland before we move on to Lane Johnson in this next segment. I did get a chance to interview Jeff Stoutland once or twice. The first time I interviewed him, I did ask him the question that I know everybody he likes to ask him. What do you look for? What's the magic? What's the secret? And it was a football term or a football phrase I had never heard. It's an athletic phrase I never heard before in my life. And I said, "What do you look for?" And he goes, "Well, the first thing I look for is lower body lateral movement." And I was
look for that in a goaler.
I go, what?
But
what?
Football.
From post to post.
Yeah.
Lower body lateral movement.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's how you detect whether or not a guy could be a Pro Bowl. There's that great footage of him before they drafted Lane Johnson. He's got his hands on Lane Johnson's chest and is like the top of his back, like just below his neck. Have you seen this video?
Yeah.
And he's just moving around with them, and then he gets done, and he just like looks at somebody, and goes like, "Yeah." It's like, perennial Pro Bowler. He's good. We got
what he wants to do there is he wants him to feel the body where it's going and anticipate the footwork to be there. Because the foot, like, remember in the studio, like Trey would do the footwork stuff.
Yeah, and Trey never even played for him. Like he was just observing it as a fan, really.
He would go down there and sit with him, and just like he was in awe. Of
if Jeff only Stoutland. Danny Watkins could have played under Jeff Stoutland. Think about his career. He might be going to Canton right now.
Who was the other bananas dude that?
Brandon Brooks.
No, Williams.
Brandon Brooks had some anxiety issues, and he was a great player.
You think about Sean Andrews?
Sean Andrews,
yes.
Like he would have been a great player with the
he was a really good talent. That guy.
But I thought you were going to talk about Howard
He put out those songs. Like he was bananas nuts Foster.
Oh, that's another
right.
interview.
Yeah.
I asked Michael Phelps himself about the Michael Phelps song.
Yeah.
That was a fun one. You know what he did? He smiled. I go, hey, Michael Phelps, what do you think of that Shawn Andrews song, man? And he started laughing. He goes, yeah, it's pretty good. I go,
I played that on the radio so many times. We played that on the show. I wore that out.
Is it Michael Phelps from Baltimore?
Yeah, I think
that's where I interviewed. It was on the field at the Ravens game. Yeah.
Yeah. He's Baltimore.
He's a Baltimore guy.
Is Michael Phelps good swimmer? I don't know.
But I'd also have to put Joe Bugle up there with Jeff Stoutland. I know that's before Louie's time, so I definitely respect it. But Joe Bugle was quite the man at the offensive line.
When he had the Hogs, Harry.
Yeah, he was the architect of the Hogs.
Of the Hogs, yeah. I mean, he was a modern NFL coach in a non-modern time.
Yeah.
All right.
Bugle's a good call, Harry. Wasn't he the head coach of the Cardinals?
He was. He
Yeah.
was. One of the many failed head coaches in
Phoenix
Cardinals.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll talk about Lane Johnson and the impact here. We're also going to get into Cooper DeJean just doing the interview circuit right now, man. He is all over the place down Radio
When's he
Row.
coming to your house, Farzy? That's what I want to know.
We're gonna go over each other's lower body lateral movement.
Yeah, while sipping espresso and doing a podcast.
Yeah, and feeding them pajamas for a sleepover.
Maybe. You know,
you got a problem with that?
I thought we were going to get personal on this.
Hey,
actually,
you did it with Giroux.
What?
You had Giroux over for a sleepover.
Yeah, we made a floor tent, the whole thing. The whole thing. I said, we got to get you in.
Oh, God.
We are off the rails.
Yes.
Off the rails.
We have to make the Super Bowl next year. Because I cannot continue to do shows like this.
Or I'm retiring.
All right, we'll talk about Lane when we come back. Locked On.
Yeah,
Locked On Eagle Squad show. We'll back after this. There we go, everybody. How you doing? Hey, let's talk about FanDuel and how much fun you guys could be having on FanDuel this weekend when we're talking about the last Sunday of the NFL season. Come on. One last kickoff. The final chance to get in on the action before the NFL season really wraps up. Oh, how we'll miss it across the country. Super Bowl 60, ladies and gentlemen, is this Sunday, and FanDuel is making sure you're right in the middle of it all with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. Whether you're backing the favorite, whether you're riding the underdog, or building one of the last same game parlays for yourself, oh, how you'll miss it. This game is the one that everyone's been waiting to get in on, where the predictions turn into plays, where the stats turn into storylines, and every snap feels bigger and bigger. It's the perfect way to cap off the season and make the Super Bowl even more exciting from kickoff to the final whistle, as a matter of fact. If you're a new customer on FanDuel, bet just $5, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make it count, because after the Super Bowl, the season is over. Football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. Hey, finding a doctor that actually works for you is a bit of a tough one, and that's why you need ZocDoc, because finding a doctor you actually like feels like discovering a diamond in the rough. Sure, you want someone who's in-network, nearby, and has availability, but you also want a doctor who listens and makes you feel comfortable and explains things clearly. A little thing called bedside manner. That's what you need. That kind of doctor does exist, and you can find them with ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find someone you love without all the hassle. You're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 150,000 providers across all 50 states, covering over 200 specialties from primary care and dentistry to dermatology as well as eye care. ZocDoc makes the process simple. You can search by specialty or by symptoms, and you can use ZocDoc for it all. You can also read verified patient reviews so you feel confident choosing a doctor that you actually like. Stop putting off the doctor's appointments today and go to ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNFL. That's ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNFL. 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 Thanks to ZocDoc for sponsoring this message. So does this mean Lane's done? Let's throw it out right now. Is Lane Johnson done? If you were on the fence now about whether or not, or yesterday, if you were on the fence about Lane Johnson and whether or not he's going to come back for a 14th NFL season, this has to tip scales in the negative direction that he's not back, correct?
Yeah, I mean, he's got nothing else to prove. He's probably cemented himself in a gold jacket one of these days. So he's got a couple of Super Bowls. He's made a ton of money. He's still got his health to go do something else beyond football. And I don't know that he's all that healthy to play football anymore. And that's part of the reason why I would lean that maybe he does not come back. He's been so injured these last couple of seasons, and this might be the sort of the, like you said, Farzy, the scale tipper. If like my guy who I came up with, my coach, who's really helped make me what I am, and maybe might be the guy speaking and introducing him in Canton someday. Who knows? Is now gone. I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah,
I could see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's back, though. I don't know. I don't think he wants to go out the way he did last year, where he couldn't make it back in time for the playoffs with the Liz Frank injury. When he was playing, he was still statistically the best right tackle in football when he's put on an island. Doesn't get chip blocks from running backs and tight ends and still dominated. So I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I mean, again, he's never had another offensive line coach in 13 years. And they're going to change the way they play this year, too. It's going to be a different system. I think the blocking style up front is also going to change. Maybe it's less zone, more gap-based schemes. I don't know. I think it's up in the air. It definitely feels like I was more like 70-30, 80-20 lanes back before Stoutland stepped down. Now, probably closer to 60-40, I would say. But I still, if I was a betting man, would say he's back for one more year.
Yeah, it's interesting to say 60-40 because that's where I was at before the Stoutland news yesterday.
Okay.
And it's for all the reasons you point out. I mean, do you want to go out like that? You're playing at a high level when you're healthy.
Yeah.
But what it really comes down to is, I mean, obviously you guys both talked about, well, now Stoutland's gone. Well, okay, Stoutland's not the first to leave when you think about it. Kelsey's gone. BG was gone, then came back. I mean, Fletcher Coxell on the other side of the football, he was gone, or he is gone. Like, how many more of these guys you're going to go through? And now, not only are you talking about that coming off yet another injury and an already solidified two-time Super Bowl champion career for Lane Johnson. And how many Pro Bowls did he end up making at this point? He's made 6 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pro teams. You could obviously argue for more All-Pro teams he could have made. But now you're going to learn a new system with a new coach and a new play caller. Like we always talk about Jalen Hurts being the guy that, how many different offensive coordinators have you had? Screw that. How many head coaches has Lane Johnson had? How many schemes has he been through? Now he's going to go through another one? And all the while, he has just kept playing at an extremely high level. Brandon Brooks, his guy, he hung it up as well. Like, these are all guys that have come and gone, and he's the guy still here. Like, what's he going to do? Go over and chop it up with Jake Elliott? Like, what are we doing here? So
who I want gone, so no.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Actually, Jake Elliott's pissed about Stoutland because Stoutland's son is a hell of a golfer, and so is Jake Elliott. I don't know if you know that. Harry, you probably knew that.
Oh, yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, if you're Lane Johnson and now Stout's not even back, the mainstay, home base, if you will, you're looking at it and you're thinking, I'm going to be 36 years old. I'm going to be going into what will be my 14th NFL season. You talk about things in the personal life. Sure, he had his battles with anxiety and all that. He just got remarried. There's other things going on in his life. Maybe it's time for him to do that. Maybe that's what's going through his mind. So now I have flipped after Stoutland, or I'll say this, before Stoutland, I was like 60-40, Lane's probably back. Doesn't want to go out like that.
Yeah.
And now that Stoutland's gone and you're talking about who else is he looking at on that offensive line that has really been through the battles with him, I think he closes the book on it. And I think this is something that, might take some time, but I would not be surprised at all now. And quite frankly, I'm expecting Lane Johnson to call it one hell of a career now, especially with Stoutland being out. Jason, I'll ask you, how much does Jeff Stoutland affect whether or not Lane Johnson is coming back to the Philadelphia Eagles?
I don't know. It's hard to crawl inside Lane Johnson's head because he's been such a warrior, not only a good player, but like a guy that just battles through so much for so long. The thing you said, I think, gives me a little bit of hope that he just doesn't want to go out that way.
Very few guys can, though.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, I don't
The
want to go
fairy
out
tale
like
is
that.
great, right,
But
Harry?
very few guys get to write their script ending to a career in football.
Yeah.
It's a good
You know?
point. Jason Peters is like the rare version of a guy that just played as long as he wanted until he hung him up. And Lane, again,
he was a shell of himself those
He
last
was,
couple
for
of
sure.
years.
Big time.
I'm torn because Lane also said that if they maybe won again in 2025, he would have rode off into the sunset. So retirement's been on his mind too. So
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it has to be, right, Louie? I mean,
you guys are talking to me maybe more. I'm 55, 45. It's close. Yeah. 50. It feels like a 50.
We're gonna get
shot.
you by the end of the show, man.
All right,
You're
I'm
gonna be like,
50-50.
ladies,
I'm
needs to hang it up.
yeah,
Lane
I
is
think
washed.
Yep.
Yeah,
one
you
of
guys
those
convinced me.
things-
Now I don't want him here anymore.
He sucks. That guy.
Friday's Louie episode, in fact,
Yeah.
is right tackles in the first round.
Oh,
I
mock
think.
draft Monday next week is going to be all about
There
right
it is.
tackle. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is it's hard to crawl into his head.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know how much. Look, the Stoutland thing doesn't help, but is it a backbreaker for him to end a career because of an offensive line coach? I don't know about that, but
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I don't.
What would Colonel say about that?
He'd say he's going to the Hall of Fame. I don't know, but I mean, the thing about it is, like going out like that, like you all want to walk off the field with a Super Bowl,
Yeah.
but like that, what are the odds? You know, I mean.
I think he wants
Is
to at least
Henry-
play though to end the season, right? I mean, he missed
Yeah, I
the
think he
entire
wants to
second
walk
half.
off the field.
Yeah, I think he would at least want to end it that way.
But
Maybe
I
Brandon
also
Graham cracked the
think-
code on all this. Maybe Brandon Graham's just like, guys, no, this is all you have to do. You retire, and then you just come back halfway through,
Yeah.
and it's cool.
yeah, and your
Right.
body doesn't take the same.
You
Maybe
don't
they
have to go
need
through-
BG
you don't have
back
to go
again,
through
so Lane
camp.
doesn't feel like the oldest guy on the team.
You don't have to go through camp, Farzy. I mean, that's
Yes.
the thing these guys hate to do.
These wusses.
I mean,
These
Lane
two-a-days at Lehigh. Come on.
I was like, get him back to Lehigh.
Yeah. Retirement
Since
looks pretty
Giroux
good in the
left,
middle
Harry.
of July. And then once you get to about September, you're like, damn, I miss that locker room getting ready for games.
Since
Yeah,
Giroux
man.
left Philadelphia 4 years ago now, Lane Johnson and Sean Couturier have shared the mantle of the longest tenured Philadelphia athletes.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Coots.
been here a long time.
With
Giving me
Stoutland out
Coots.
and Elliott, if he's gone, which I want, and Brandon Graham doesn't come back with Lane, I think Lane would be the only one in the 8-year anniversary. It was yesterday. I think Lane would be the last guy left from Super Bowl 52, which is
Man.
Wow, I think you're right.
yeah. Because if they move
Graham's
on from Elliott, which is a big if, but
Wow.
Uh-huh.
yeah. The thing is, we don't know where his body is.
Yeah.
The good news is we
Yeah.
haven't heard of any surgeries. That's good news.
One thing I did think about in terms of him working through the injury and all that, on Hard Knocks, they did catch him in the Bro Barn. They made sure they got him in the Bro Barn doing his workout. And I'll tell you this, if I think I'm not coming back, I'll tell you right now, I'm not strapping weights to my head and doing neck raises or whatever the hell he was doing that looked like he was, the subject of medieval torture. So I know was making it full push to come back last year. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was him trying to get back for the last hurrah. Look, we're not going to know until the announcement's made or till we just see him show up at training camp. But you got to think all the teammates he's played with, all the teammates he's had success with through the years, the individual success that he's enjoyed as well. And now the number one guy that drafted him, that was there when he was drafted, really helped groom him as a professional throughout his career, is no longer here. And on top of that, hold on, I've been doing this for 13 years and now I got to learn another system. Like that can't be the best thing looking down the barrel of.
when you think about it, this offense, after 2026, who can you guarantee is going to be a part of the plan?
After
you have no
26?
questions. Yeah. Devontae Smith, is that it? Because
You
even
just-
Jordan Mailata has brought up like early retirement talks. I think he's probably the second most likely to be here long term, but I think the only guy I can say concrete after this do or die, it feels like kind of season coming up. Smitty is the only one. I mean, I'm in this group chat right now in our live feed talking about Jalen Hurts for Joe Burrow trades. I mean,
saw that.
everybody is on the table here.
I saw that. You got me all fired up when I saw
Yeah,
you
I was
put
thinking
on
about the
Joe
Goff
Burrow.
Stafford trade a few
Look, if
years
you're
ago.
gonna, as much change as is going to take place this offseason, I mean, think about the amount of if Lane Johnson retires. Say A.J. Brown is moved. Lane Johnson retires. Jeff Stoutland is out. Kevin Patullo is out. Mannion and the new offensive minds are in. Like, this is a huge amount of turnover all on one, and Vic Fangio debated it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Holy.
I mean, it's kind of what the Chiefs went through, right? The Bills went through that after 2023. I think when you're a contender long enough, though, I mean, some of this was self-inflicted, but this is just, I mean, they've been at it for, 6
This
seasons.
is like replacing an entire coaching staff without replacing the head coach.
There's a lot of ifs, though. I mean, is all of that going to transpire this offseason? I think there's also a scenario that happens where, like, only Stoutland's gone. And Dallas Goedert, I think, is a foregone conclusion. But, yeah, there's a lot of ifs with this offense.
Who
And
the hell's playing
Patullo
tight
goes
end?
to the Jets, right? Patullo goes to the Jets.
Would
Like,
be
that's just a matter of
phenomenal.
time.
Yeah, please.
That's no
No.
way it doesn't happen.
You don't have it right, Mark. You got to go old
What?
school Philadelphia fan. Patullo goes to the Jets and fixes the unfixable.
Oh, jeez.
I can't. No, I can't. I'm already hearing
Frank
from Sixers
Reich's
fans
there.
that- I'm already exactly. I'm already
Yeah.
hearing from Sixers fans with
Yeah.
Locked On saying, "Oh, Jared McCain's going to become Steph Curry now. You watch." I'm
Yeah,
like,
right,
"No, I won't
right.
be."
Yeah,
But thank you.
no.
Like what?
This would be like Bennett, Ekblad, and Kachuk leaving those Panthers teams who were, battling for the cups for these last
3
couple
straight
of years.
finals, Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about.
Hold on, let me scratch that off my bingo card.
That's a good pull by Harry when he
Oh,
goes.
dude, come
Ekblad.
on. The Panther.
Yeah. Ekblad, #1 overall draft in Philadelphia, 2012.
I love Bennett. Oh,
yeah,
I could play for me any day.
But I mean, that amount of turnover creates what? Question marks.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you go into a season, the more question marks you have, the less likely is they're all going to be answered in the affirmative. So,
Fair enough.
this is an interesting offseason. It really is. It's monumental.
Nick could get canned. I mean, it's just 2027 could look so. It's crazy. We're only a year removed from a Super Bowl win.
Look at
2027 could look
Jeffrey
crazy.
Lurie's
face.
I love it.
Got a smirk on his face because he
It's
knows
great
he's
for
got-
a daily podcast.
It's
man.
great
It's
for content.
I
It's
love
great
it.
content. Yeah.
These
And
are my favorite kind of off seasons.
Jeffrey Lurie made the jump on Mannion so he could have him as his head coach in a year or two.
Oh, yeah.
Just a step, move Nick. Yeah, get out, step aside. We got the guy. We got the next McVay.
Best soap opera in sports is in the 215.
Good lord.
You
Yeah,
try
right.
doing a daily podcast for a Flyers team that hasn't made the playoffs in 5 years.
That's
that's
earning
brutal.
your money.
I think
That's
this
hurting
might have
your
been an
heart.
easy week, to be
Air
honest
that
with you.
mode.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we got to get into Cooper DeJean talking about the locker room. He was on the Pat McAfee show as well as every other format imaginable. We'll talk about that. A.J. Brown tampering. We'll get into that when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Back after this.
All right, guys, today's Locked On Eagles Squad podcast is brought to you by Indeed. If you've ever hired someone who looked good on paper but just wasn't the right fit, you know how important that is when you want candidates who truly match what you're looking for, like Sean Mannion. Trust Indeed sponsored jobs. Hiring Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored jobs put your post at the top of the page and help you reach the right candidates faster. Instead of struggling to get your job post seen, Indeed sponsored jobs helps your listing stand out and reach those quality candidates faster. Their job boosts your post to the people who are the best match for your role, and that makes a real difference. Spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with less stress, less time, and more results using Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of this show get a $75 sponsored job credit to help give your job the premium placement it deserves at Indeed.com/LockedOnNFL. That's Indeed.com/LockedOnNFL right now and support the show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed.
Yeah, this chat
Locked
is
On
going
Eagles
nuts
Squad.
now with
Is it
Louie.
going
Louie
bonkers?
lit up
My
the
bad.
chat.
Yeah, I started
He lit
something
up
here.
the chat
Oh,
with the.
Little
Joe
blockbuster trend
Burrow.
scenario. Yeah.
Yeah,
the
he's
hell
doing
did you
show
do?
prep for the daily. Now.
It's great.
Oh, trust me, I've already brought. I've hinted at it a little bit on a few episodes. I haven't fully dove in, but
I love it.
Yeah.
we're workshopping.
You have so much to talk about on the daily. Like,
so much. It's great.
Oh,
it's like you can just stick all this stuff in a hat and just pick one out and go, here's 2 episodes. Here's another one.
I honestly like the off season better than the regular season sometimes. I love the what ifs. It's great.
Totally.
I'll tell you
I like going 30,000
amazing. The amazing thing about the NFL is they have 17 things that actually matter every year, and somehow there's 365 days that matter.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
They own the
it's
business. Yeah.
Yep.
86
They,
of the
they own a
top
day of the
100
week. This
Yep.
86 of the,
The
top
best
100
line-
television programs last year
Yeah.
were NFL games again.
Yep.
The best line, and yes, I watched the movie Concussion, was the Al Brooks line. It's the NFL. They own a day of the week, the same day the church used to own. It's
a day
such
of the week. They own more than that now, but that was
do,
a great
right,
line.
right.
That was a
It
great
was,
line. Yeah.
Other than that, it was tell the truth. Anyway, so the other thing that we'll get into today is Cooper DeJean. Does the media circuit. He actually gets asked about Nikki Bella for the record, and I think in that moment, that babyface D-back actually went through puberty. In the moment, he tensed up when he was asked about it with Kay Adams, would not confirm or deny. But he also compared the Philadelphia Eagles locker room to something that actually Kenny Pickett compared it to last year. And is this a good thing or a bad thing? Harry, I'll ask you first. The Eagles locker room is like a college locker room. Is that a good thing? An NFL locker room being like a college locker room?
It could be.
Okay.
What college?
Yeah.
Are we talking Nick Saban's Alabama teams?
Well, yeah. Back when Stoutland was there in 2011 and 2012, and they were winning national championships. Yeah, that's a good thing. I guess it could be in that, it's just there's a lot of. He's on the defensive side of the ball. There's a lot of young guys. That average age of that defense is 26. I think they're one of the youngest units in the league. I think. You're coming in, you're in your second year, and you got a lot of attention, a lot of fanfare in the final couple of months of your rookie season. You went on and had a great sophomore season. You're just sort of like, I guess it is sort of like you're with a great college team, and you're going to be entering your junior year, and things are fun. Things are fun when you're 20, 21 years old.
You got a boatload of dough.
Yeah, and you're dating a hot girl who's older than you. Life is good for Cooper DeJean. So I would take it as a positive as to why he said that.
Yeah, he wasn't inferring it being negative. No doubt about it.
Oh, I have zero doubt about that. I don't think he's being positive
Yeah.
or negative. I think he's being real about it, and I think he's saying it as a thing to champion. He really likes it.
Yeah.
But when we talk about Nick Sirianni's leadership, or we talk about anything else that goes on in that locker room, I don't look at Vic Fangio as much as I like the guy and go, "Oh, he's a party." No, I don't get that vibe
He
from
just
him.
stays out of the way.
So,
And
what about the professionalism? What about you're not
there.
getting that? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
because Vic Fangio is not dealing with non-professionalism. You be a pro and you get leash if you perform. It's real simple. I think what he's referring to when he says that college thing is that there's a youthful enthusiasm, and we have to prove it every day. I think because in college, they got 950 guys dressed for games. Everybody's trying to take your position, your scholarship, your standing, as you're trying to fight to put the best you can out there to ultimately make this your living. So I think that's what he's kind of referring to, which I think is a huge positive. I think I like guys that you want a room that succeeds together, works hard together, is pros together, but also has fun together. But there's one element I didn't mention there, but that holds each other accountable. No matter whether you're best friends, your roomies on the road, whatever, your family's vacation together, but you guys still have the respect for each other that when you're in a play on the offensive line and the guy misses his bucket, dude, you got to break down and get that bucket. You got to read that. To be able to say that to guys that you vacation with together and that are your friends, and for them to take it the right way. I think that's what he's referring to, a culture of winning, a culture of, we can have fun if we check all the other boxes. So I think that's a good thing that he kind of pointed out. If teams are having fun that lose, I got a real problem with that.
Right.
If
the Jets are having fun, you got real issues.
Well, I'll give you the hockey part. Keith Yandel, after he left here as a Flyer, after one of the worst seasons in the last 25 years, said on the Spit and Chicklets podcast, it was the most fun he had as a pro.
Wow.
And I was pissed. I'm like, you guys sucked. They were horrible. And you had the most fun you've had as a pro? That's a country club. That's not a locker room. That irked me, because you should be miserable when you show up to whatever facility you show up to if you're losing like that.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And it wasn't just a problem. That's an everybody problem.
Yeah, it is funny how winning or losing really it's how you take it. Like when Kenny Pickett said it a year ago, I thought the same thing. This is great. The guys, they have each other's backs. They're having a good time doing it, and they're winning. And then this year, and not so much. One and done in the playoffs. And I'm like, they had a what was it? The Positive Vibes Bunny, whatever the hell that was for a week.
For a
before they had
week.
to slaughter that thing.
brutal.
They didn't put
Then Jalen
Energizer
Hurts had the
batteries in
worst
it,
game
ran
of
out
his career after that.
It ran out of batteries. Well, the thing is, too, is that you guys have all heard this because we've all talked to pro athletes ad nauseum throughout our careers. It's not about winning for them. It's about not losing. They like winning, of course.
The great ones, I agree with you.
They hate losing. Like, that is the hardest thing. Winning, it's like, okay, great, feels good. We didn't lose, and it stays with you for a little bit. Losing stays with you all week. You know, like, it affects everything. So I think the guys that are wired like that, it's the kind of guys I want.
Yeah. The guy, I'll agree with you on this. The guys that are the great ones, those are the guys that really hate losing.
They hate to lose
more than they love winning.
Yeah.
Those are the guys I think Philadelphia identifies with more than anybody.
Yeah.
But on
Ryan
that note,
Dawkins?
I never thought McNabb
absolutely.
was that guy.
I
No,
agree.
he liked winning, Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Winning was great, and losing, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
And tying doesn't happen. How about that? Did you know that they can't tie?
He
in the
did,
NFL?
yeah.
Go figure.
According to him.
Anyway,
That's a great point, though. McNabb is a guy that I totally agree with you, Harry. I
Yeah.
never thought of it, but that didn't hate losing. Liked winning, but didn't hate losing.
Harry, when I get asked about people from out of market ask me what's the problem between Donovan and Philadelphia, that's exactly what I tell them.
Yeah.
I go, Philly always had the feeling that he didn't hate losing. They always said, oh, if you win, that's cool. But just the whatever it takes to win type of thing, not how Philadelphia saw it. But A.J. Brown got talked about by Derrick Henry on a show.
Ooh.
Everyone's doing shows. It's Radio Row, as we all know very
Radio
well.
Row. Yeah.
So some magic's
What was
happening.
he pimping on Radio Row while he was talking about
Right
AJ
guard,
Brown?
Harry.
Right guard.
I go right.
In honor of Lane
I'll tell you what I
Johnson.
do. I'll tell you what I do, Harry. I literally I search for quotes. I just search. I put in quotations in the search thing, and I go right to that. So I don't even know what he was pimping.
Okay.
All I know is he was asked about A.J. Brown. He was like, love to have A.J. Brown in Baltimore. Is Baltimore now making a plea, Louie, to get A.J.
that's
Brown?
nice. Yeah, I'm sure they want A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
A lot of teams probably want A.J. Brown. I'm not trading him to the Baltimore Ravens. Go enjoy the Las Vegas Raiders. You give me Max Crosby in return. What is Baltimore going to give the Eagles in return? Zay Flowers? I mean, a first-round pick? I don't know. I maybe they're on the table. They're definitely a team that would be interested. I am not in a place where I would want to put him with a contender. I don't know. If I was Howie Roseman, I would be.
But what if that's the best return?
Yeah.
Sure, then if that's the case, but I don't think it's going to be. I think a team like Jacksonville or
The
Tennessee
Jets.
or
The
Las Vegas, maybe
Yeah.
if they want to pair like Clint Kubiak says, I need a wide receiver 1 for my first overall quarterback. I think those are the teams to look at more, and that's why again, if I'm AJ Brown, I should really think about how miserable I am in Philadelphia because I don't think he's going to get to go to the Ravens and get to rejoin Derrick Henry.
Man, the Jets
Again,
have
if
had a
they
good
come to
receiver
the
since Corbett.
yeah, if they offer the Eagles a first-round pick, like, okay, now we're talking. But, I think if he is traded, it's going to be to a team that, I mean, winning, maybe that's not what he cares about anyway if he wants out. But, yeah, I don't think he's going to go to, like, one of the top contenders above the Eagles.
Lamar Jackson would love him some A.J. Brown.
Sure he
man.
would, yeah.
Yeah. I would love for Kevin Patullo to go to the Jets under Frank Reich, and then like within 10 minutes, A.J. Brown is traded to the Jets. That would just be that'd be a good time. That's what
Is that possible? Patullo could go to the Jets?
Well, if Frank Reich is coaching there,
Yeah.
there's which he is. He's the offensive coordinator now.
He's the OC.
He's the OC, so there's a chance that he brings in some of his guys, and Patullo would probably like some sort of semblance of a fresh start with some familiarity.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
What about
possible.
the Steelers as an option for A.J. Brown? I think that makes sense.
I think
Can
they
I have
already
DK Metcalf back in return?
They already have an A.J.
No,
Brown.
but if you're going to bring back Aaron Rodgers for one more year, you really got.
I don't know that he comes back now that Cignetti was hired.
Yeah,
Apparently,
it's true.
Aaron Rodgers and Cignetti did not get along, and McCarthy brought in Cignetti Jr. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just wonder about that. Like,
And Aaron will wait as long as possible to make up his mind because then people are still talking about Aaron.
Well, you got to do the thing. You got to go on the retreat or whatever.
Yeah, you
got
got to smoke some weed or whatever.
South
the
America.
ayahuasca. What was that?
Ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca, I believe.
Yeah, ayahuasca. Not
Ayahuasca.
Hiawatha.
Not a,
That's how they'll be feeling after.
Yeah.
We go to ayahuasca and do the haka.
hey, guys, I don't know if you heard. The Super Bowl is this weekend.
No.
How about that? Remember that? Remember that
Honestly,
little
did
game
not
they
hear.
play? Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's what they call it, the Super Bowl.
all of my preparations coming tomorrow.
We're going to break that. We'll break it down. We'll give you our official predictions for Super Bowl 60 when we come back. This is Locked On Eagles Squad show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Back after this.
Jesus.
Today's episode of the Locked On Eagle Squad podcast is brought to you by Quo. New year, new systems. This is the time when a lot of us look at the messier parts of how we run our business and think there has to be a better way, and there is. Streamlining your communication is one of the quickest upgrades that you can make. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, spelled Quo, the smarter way to run your business communications. Because when your team is reachable, organized, and communicating in one place, you're not just working cleaner, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers. I love how simple Quo makes everything. Your whole team can call and text from one shared business number, so nothing gets missed. Everybody sees the full conversation thread, which makes replies faster and more personal. It works right from your phone or computer, and you can even keep your existing numbers as well. There's no surprise that Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams. Make this the year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/lockedonnfl. That's quo.com/lockedonnfl. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers.
Who wins Super Bowl 60? And yes, this is the Super Bowl weekend. It's Sunday. I'm really trying to find a time where I was less excited about the Super Bowl.
Who's in
I
it?
was trying to think of that the other day. Tampa, Oakland? Is that the last time a Super Bowl had just less sauce?
Well, that was
The
after
guy-
the
the
Eagles'
guy-
horrible
But even that had an
loss.
MVP quarterback in it.
Yeah.
So.
Didn't the lineman go missing right before
Yeah,
that?
Barrett or Brooks. His name.
Yeah.
He was the
Yeah.
center.
I can't
Barrett
remember.
that might have been
Brooks.
it.
Yeah.
Although the only thing that was
Brooks.
pissed off about that, of course, is that was the Rondé Barber year at the vet.
Yeah, right.
Areas you were alluding
True.
to.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
right.
no
I-
legacy. There's no legacy like on the line here in this Super Bowl. There's no like dynasty against an underdog or a rematch like Eagles Chiefs. There's just where's the storyline in this game?
It's two new
yeah.
teams nobody knows a whole hell of a lot about.
I think this is proof that parity in sports is overrated and people don't care about it as much as they say.
Yeah, it's
Everybody's
true.
like, no,
agree.
please not
I
Chiefs
agree.
Eagles again. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? Those
Yeah.
are always the highly rated Super Bowls, and this
Yeah.
one has nothing.
Yeah,
The-
no,
the biggest
but
story-
Louie brought up the last week. What was it? Seahawks against Denver. That Super Bowl. I
Yeah.
was not really enthused by.
But even in
Super
that one was like up and coming elite defense, new quarterback against a 55 touchdown quarterback in Peyton Manning. Like this one has just none of that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I
Wasn't
don't
that the
know.
game that was played at the Giants Stadium, MetLife?
Yeah,
I was
There's a
not
safety
into
on the
that.
first play.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
game itself was such a blowout, but I think
Wait,
the stories
Seahawks?
leading up to it had hype. In 2013, Seahawks Broncos.
Yeah.
2013. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was thinking Panthers.
2015.
Broncos. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
later. Okay. No, I think you have to go back that far to find something that was less interesting than this. The only thing that's actually happened this week that's like, oh, how about that? Involves a legacy quarterback, the GOAT quarterback, Tom Brady, saying he doesn't have a dog in the fight.
I love it.
When he
Patriots
was
fans are
being asked-
so mad. It's phenomenal.
Your
He's the
former
owner of the
teammate.
Raiders.
You've
Yeah.
thrown touchdown passes in Super Bowls to Mike Vrabel, the head coach of the team. and you
Brady's
don't
out
have
of the
a dog
Pats.
in
I love
fight?
it. I love it.
But
Anyway.
he it's the right thing to say. First of all, you got to be an impartial announcer,
Yeah.
and he also is a minority owner of the
Part owner. Yeah.
Raiders.
Yeah.
I just think it's especially
he's already got
funny.
enough conflicts
Well,
of interest. He doesn't
that-
need another one.
That and also, I think he's tired of being asked about why didn't Belichick or Kraft make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know,
Patriots
Everybody-
fans made it seem
I don't
like
have a dog
that
in a fight either.
when Brady won with Tampa, Patriots fans acted like that was one of their chips.
I
And
know.
I think it's so funny that now it's the opposite way. And Brady's like, yeah, I don't care that you guys are in at all. And
Yeah,
it just makes me so happy.
All right. So right now the Seahawks on FanDuel are getting 4.5. Or excuse me, the Patriots. Seahawks
I
are
took the
4.5 point
Patriots.
favorites. You're taking the Patriots.
I
Harry.
took them already.
All right. Who wins?
Wow.
Probably Seattle.
Seattle wins, but Patriots cover.
Seattle
Is what you're
by
telling
3
me.
or 4.
I'll take
I'm good
Seattle with
that.
the points.
Seattle with the points.
I'll take Seattle in a rout.
Seattle in a rout.
Usually the Super Bowl's a rout.
I can see that.
Wow.
I think it's like a 35-17 game.
That would be Sam Darnold having the game of his life 2 games in a row.
Because that's a great storyline of redemption, Harry.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So you're saying the NFL is all about storylines and the game is bogus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. See?
Fix one.
So it's fixed.
There you go.
I didn't say that, Harry.
The script was out, guys. The script was out. Yeah, I got Seattle. I got Seattle. And I do have someone close to me who is from out that way in Seattle. Big Seahawks fan. Very happy for them if they're able to win this Super Bowl. So I am not only just picking the Seahawks, I'm rooting for him as well.
Eagles legend Josh Jobe could get his first Super Bowl ring, so that's big too.
Wow.
It's very true.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take Cooper Kupp 4+ receptions.
I thought he was going to say Super Bowl MVP. I'm like, that would have been wild.
Well, yeah, that'd be nice
Arnold.
too. But this George Holani guy, the fullback or whatever for Seattle, I'm taking an anytime touchdown at plus 550.
Plus 550.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, that's a program.
Does
Congratulations,
Jackson
everybody.
Smith and Jigba get 8 receptions? Does he go over the, was it 7.5 or 8, somewhere around there? Is
Yeah, I might go
positive money?
under. If Gonzalez is shadowing him, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yee.
Save
Hey, that's a
some for
program.
next week's show.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We'll get you guys on Tuesday next week, when
Met the
everyone's calmed
requirement.
down from the Super Bowl high. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys like and subscribe Locked On Eagles Squad. Make sure you guys like and subscribe Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Louie DiBiase, that man right there, has got you covered each and every day with fine Eagles content and trading Jalen Hurts for
Joe
Burrow
Burrow
or something, and hating Jeff Stoutland as the clubhouse poison that he was. Anyway, that's what we talked about in case you're just joining us. Anyway, Louie DiBiase, make sure you guys like it. That's a little sarcasm. Louie DiBiase got you covered each and every day. Locked On Eagles YouTube channel with your Eagles content. We'll be back with you guys next week with another 2 squad shows. See you guys then. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.